June 1999, and time again for the All-American. This is the 18th year for this prestigious and very important fishing tournament. And again in 99, we're here in LaCrosse, Wisconsin on the Mississippi. A challenging fishery, a good fishery, and 50 outstanding anglers dealing with a new twist. No culling of fish. That's a local regulation. To win, you'll have to be willing to take a few risks or else be on some extraordinary fish. Hi, I'm Tommy Sanders, along with Jerry McInnes here. And Jerry, we've got 10 anglers who have made it to well, the finals of what's not just any fishing tournament.
Boy, you're right about that. You know, there are two really good bass fishing circuits out there, the FLW Tour and the folks over at BASS, and there are hundreds of lesser tournaments, but none of them have a rocky road to travel that these guys do that gets them here today.
Absolutely. They've got it tough. Believe it or not, they start out fishing against 26,000 other anglers across the United States in 22 divisions. Now, they have to fish at least 6 tournaments in their division, make it to the top 30 in their division, then they got to go to the regional. And they have to make the top 8 in the regional to advance to here.
Yeah, and big deal. They get here, and they've got 50 more guys to beat before we can declare a winner.
Hey, they got a hard way to go here, but these are the top 10 of the Red Man All-American. We're about to find out who is the best here on this week's stop on the Walmart FLW Tour. As we slide under the railroad bridge here, one of several bridges over the Mississippi in LaCrosse, we take a look at our third-place qualifier. He is Mike Baldwin, and he has been making the most of his time in these first 2 days of qualifying. Mike is fishing literally within sight of our takeoff location here. And well, I tell you what, he has found a spot that professional anglers really only dream of.
What I've been catching these fish on is just a Berkeley power grub, 4-inch power grub. It's basically, it's got a chomper's head, little quarter ounce, got a little bit of a weed guard, and when it falls on the bottom, it pretty much so is going to hit and stand, you know, try and stand up like that right there. And basically what we got going on here, we're sitting at about 8 to 12 foot, and there's a little point that runs out here. Up on top, it's only about 4 foot, and where it rolls off the end, it feels like you just start coming up the rocks, and as soon as I get in that kind of the rocky area, that's where I've been getting the bites.
Let's explain for you again the no cull rule. Now, you only get to keep 5 fish a day. That's the case with all of our tournaments on the tour. But if you catch a legal size fish here that may not be that big, you have to decide when you bring him up to the boat whether to release him or keep him as one of your 5 for the day. If he goes in the live well, he is one of your 5 keepers for the day.
Not on the line, but I'm going to go ahead and take a chance.
After releasing that first fish, Mike proceeded to keep his next 5 bites.
That one I'll probably have to keep. That fish will go 15 inches. Yesterday I threw some back like that, but today I'm not going to be too proud. I'm going to go ahead and keep him. I would say that's probably a keeper, and yesterday I was throwing them back like that, but yeah, I don't want to get too cocky and not make the cut.
Well, you can kind of see how a person might get a little cocky or complacent there, Jerry. I mean, keeping his next 5 bites is amazing enough. We've certainly never seen anything like that out here on the tour, but the amount of time it took him to do it.
Figure this. Everybody started 7:30, so it takes him 5 minutes to get to his place, and he has his limit by 8 o'clock. Can you just imagine what size of a school of fish he's sitting on?
We'll have to get down there and take a look at it. Mike was leading after the first day, so he probably didn't have to hit his fish as hard as some of the other fishermen, but, I mean, still, you have to wonder if you're keeping the right size fish all the time. 5 in a row. It's just unbelievable.
That's it for the day.
Well, it's certainly a novel way to end your fishing day with 6.5 hours left for competition there. Of course, Mike might as well bring his checkers with him. Mike spent the rest of the day, as you can see here, just guarding his spot so the other competitors wouldn't come in and hurt his fishing for the final.
He's setting up a fort there, I believe. Tommy, got to let anybody in there. He's keeping his eye. He's throwing a lure out there, but he is not throwing it into any productive water. And he is just actually sitting around his spot. Got to worry about it all day long, I'll bet.
Okay, what's going on here is that's a little 4-foot flat. We're up on top of it right now. And there's a little rock pile right as this thing drops off. What I do is get off into the deeper water, and then I kind of throw it at a 45 across the end of the point here. And I'm starting to drop off right now, and went from 4 foot to 5 foot. I'm almost to the area where I've been catching them. It's about right here. It's starting to drop off now. You know, it went from 4 foot, there's 10 foot, and it's showing some fish along the bottom there. There's 13 foot, 14 foot, and I've just been kind of laying back here off the side and throwing out across that at a little bit of an angle, and that's where I've been catching them. And there's an unbelievable school of bass down there. It's really sad that there is a no call rule, because I'd have liked to seen, you know, just how many fish you could catch off a spot like this, which hopefully I'll make the cut, and maybe tomorrow I'll just have to go through a bunch of these to see how big of a bag I can weigh in.
Well, that's the story of Mike Baldwin for the first 2 days of a tournament that's different from anything we've ever seen out here on the Walmart FLW Tour with the no-cull rule. Now, can he do it again here on the final day? And will what he catches be enough to overtake our leader after 2 days, Curtis Samo, the record-setting Curtis Samo? The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices, always Walmart. By Everstar. It all starts here. By Wrangler. Wrangler. Real, comfortable jeans. And by Land O'Lakes, supporting family traditions. Welcome back. This week's presentation on the Walmart FLW Tour is the world-famous All-American $100,000 first prize to the winner, usually a working fisherman, somebody who hasn't quit their day job. We just saw Curtis Samo making his way upriver, and here we go with Mike Baldwin.
Yeah, and I wonder where Mike Baldwin's going to start this morning.
Yeah, let's think. Let's get out the old map and take a look.
Well, obviously he's in his same spot and hoping to catch fish as fast as he's been catching them on the other days. I think everyone ought to pay attention to the fact that he's catching both largemouth and smallmouth. As a matter of fact, everybody's catching largemouth and smallmouth. Most of the time, the largemouth will benefit these guys a little bit more because they're normally a little fatter. But every now and then, you know, they'll catch a smallmouth that will be cheap. But it's kind of neat, Tommy. But that gang of fish, and there they are again. There's no telling what's going to be out there.
Well, you're a grub fishing guy. You saw him rigging that grub there. Is that something a little different, or is that a pretty traditional presentation for a little rocky drop-off?
Well, no, I think it's perfect for that situation. We saw in his depth finder there a minute ago just how the lay of the land was, and for that bait to get on the bottom and stick up and then move down that drop-off is just perfect for what he's doing. Boy, I admire what he's got going.
The first largemouth, and his largemouth will outweigh the smallmouth. It's kind of a little chunk. It's not quite a 2-pounder. I'll make sure you have the keeper. He's only a 14.5-inch bass, but he's a nice fat one, so I'm going to go ahead and keep him, at least put one in the box.
First fish of the day for Mike Baldwin. We'll watch him closely. It may not take him very long to get his next board, Jerry.
He has a lot of decisions to make, doesn't he?
We are going to leave and go downstream a little bit for our first look at Lamonte Walters from Warner Robins, Georgia. And he's one of the few anglers who's fishing south of LaCrosse, right?
Hey, but Mike Baldwin isn't the only guy that's got honey holes out there, because all these guys, especially our finalists, seem to have found little spots where they can catch fish quickly.
Oh, yeah.
I heard him say it feels like a better fish, so he's obviously hooked up one before we got here.
Yeah, and we've got some drag spinning there.
There we go. That's what you want to see.
There's a smallmouth. There's a good smallmouth.
Stay buttoned up, baby.
He's also fishing on the bottom. None of these guys are fishing very deep. I don't think that you can consider 6, 8 feet of water very deep.
About ready to put that one in the boat. From the look of that jump there, it's going to be a keeper, huh, Jerry?
Oh my goodness, yeah. And the majority of the time when they jump like that, they are smallmouth, so you can tell right away that he's got
trouble, doesn't he? Oh my gosh.
Oh, Tommy. Tommy.
It wasn't a textbook landing of a fish there, was it?
Well, you know, these guys are obviously very good fishermen. They wouldn't be here today with us, but maybe nerves got involved there. You really shouldn't
first shot at $100,000. All these guys are nervous.
You really shouldn't let a bass get up around the boat and touch the line or grab the line. Oh, and now he's got a white bass. Oh, so he's virtually caught 2 fish, and neither one of them will go on the board.
Back to Mike Baldwin. Still looking for his second fish of the day. He's already boated a good one.
No idea how many fish can be on a spot like this. It's kind of scary to start throwing them back, but also not any fun to be through at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Mike, actually, the first day of competition up here on the Mississippi River, caught more fish than anyone, 11 pounds, 6 ounces. There he goes with number 2, possibly.
Things seem to be a little bit slower today, though, because he's actually made a couple of casts where he didn't catch one. So,
Mike's from Mojave Valley, Arizona. He's one of these West Coast guys. Jerry grew up on the banks of the Colorado River. I think his dad had a boat repair shop, maybe some motor repair in there as well, and so he's a lifelong fisherman.
Hey, and I'm really glad to see the guys from out in that part of the country to shine a little bit. You know, you get to thinking every now and then that if you aren't from the South or the Southeast, that you're not a real bass fisherman. By gosh, we got good bass fishermen.
Some good ones. Matter of fact, 2 years ago, the winner of the All-American on the Arkansas River in Arkansas there was a fellow from Henderson, Nevada, Daniel Branscombe.
I think I'm probably going to have to keep this one. I really didn't want to keep a lot of smallies, but it's almost 16 inches.
There it is, the no-cull rule, sort of playing with the strategy of Mike Baldwin there.
Boy, it's not just where do I catch them and how do I catch them, it's do I keep them, and what species is it? One weighs a little bit more than the other. There's a lot of strategy going on today.
Lots of things to think about. What is Curtis Samo thinking about now? He was our leader after 2 days. He's still running. He hasn't even started fishing yet, just on his second lot, going a long ways upstream there. So we got an interesting story developing. Welcome back. You're watching the All-American. That's this week's presentation on the Walmart FLW Tour. $100,000 first prize at stake. Here's the leader after the first 2 days, Curtis Samo.
I should produce a fish one day. It hasn't yet. In practice, I shook off a couple good fish.
Basically what I did is I changed to what we call a spider jig, Yamamoto jig. It's got a spider skirt with a double tail in it. More of a crawdad type bait, where the other deal I was fishing with a single tail is more of a shad style of bait.
That's Mike Baldwin methodically fishing his drop-off place there. He started out today 13 ounces behind leader Curtis Samo, but on a day like today, that really is not consequential. You can overcome that, can't you?
Right, and you know, Tommy, that's something else. We've been so zeroed in on the null-cull rule that we forgot to point out that differing from most of our tournaments where everybody starts from 0 each day, these guys carry their weights over, so everyone knows what they have to catch. And so, you know, that makes it even more of a situation. Should I turn this fish loose or should I hang on to it?
Now, he just tricked up that grub a little bit, put the skirt on there. What does that do?
Well, you know, I think he's looking for a little bulkier bait that might just attract a bigger fish. And that works a lot of the time.
Not big enough, though.
Well, today, you know, I switched over to this crawdad style pattern of a jig, and it seems to be getting fit a little bit better. The fish are basically in the same spot. I just don't know how big a bass are down there. It's kind of a scary deal to keep throwing back these, marginal keepers. But in order to win, I figure I got to, go through and grade them pretty hard. So I could be all through by now. I'm sure several of those were plenty big enough to be keepers, but then you may not ever get a big one. It's a spawned out largemouth. I don't know, he's not quite as fat as the first one I kept, but I think he's probably a little bit longer. It'd be kind of hard to throw him back. Not quite 16 inches, but I'll go ahead and keep him. At least I got 3 to take to the scales.
I kind of had a game plan when I come up here that the first couple days I was going to play it kind of conservative just to hopefully make it into the top 10. And then, I've done that, and basically that game plan worked. Fortunately, I've gotten some good bites to where I really didn't have to think that much about whether I wanted to keep a fish or not. All my bites but one out of the 10 keepers I've had has been good fish. And that's why I think I'm leading the tournament. But the first 3, regardless, I think I'll put them in a live well. But if they're good fish, then I can gamble a little bit, I think, and go for a big fish after that.
Well, Mike Baldwin, with his 3 fish in the box already, has pulled ahead of Curtis Samo here, and Curtis just looking for something big and waiting for something to happen.
And flipping weeds, and that most likely means that you're going to catch a largemouth bass, which again should be a little bit bigger.
Well, here's our first look at Tim Fleetwood from Forsyth, Missouri. He's actually the postmaster there.
I know they got crawdads up here. I've had some of these fish bit the crawdads out. I'm not sure what kind of bait fish they have up here. There we go. Keeper. Yeah, he's almost 15 inches long. Okay. He's not a real big fish. Yeah, decision time. This is where the no cold kind of kills you. I think since it's my first fish, I think I'm going to keep this one. He's not quite 15.
Tim Fleetwood anxious to get his total started. Here's a guy, we recognize this guy, Jerry.
Oh, this is a crankbait fisherman from over in North Carolina. I recognize him.
Yeah, Chris Baldwin, one of those North Carolina guys who was our second place finisher last year at the All-American, and he's seeing sort of the other side of the cull rule. Let's take a look at his day so far. Lots of fish coming in, but...
Well, here's a guy that is in position where he knows...
Pound 13 ounces.
Exactly how big his fish need to be to catch up. Again, everybody kept their weight from yesterday, so he knows where he's at. So he has it in his mind exactly how they're going to be, how much they have to weigh, or he's got to turn them loose. Oh, that's got to be it.
Oh, that hurts to watch. This is a guy that needs to be from Nevada because he is gambling here, Jerry.
That's right.
He is really, really asking for another card every time.
Well, I tell you what, though, it is fun to see these guys fish knowing that they want to win, and that's all. And so they will take their chances. They're just going to throw. Well, first place is all there is for Chris, and by gosh, that's how it's going to be.
Well, he knows full well that when the day's over, he may look back and wish he'd kept every one of these fish we just saw him catch here, right?
And maybe he has got one he'll keep right here.
A little better one, isn't it?
Boy, matter of fact, several of those smallmouth were
closer, though.
A little closer, he says. Man, he's going to turn that one loose, too.
Hard to believe. That's a nice-looking fish there.
All right.
Yeah,
Here we go. He's on the board. Well, I think he wanted all of his fish to be a little better than 2 pounds, or he was going to turn them loose.
Well, there's Mike Baldwin. That's his 4th fish of the day. Now, will this one go in the live well as well?
Nope.
There's your answer right there.
Back it went.
So he's got 3 keepers so far. That one did not make the cut, the Mike Baldwin standard.
kind of a nerve-wracking deal, to say the least. But you know, I just don't feel I can win with those fish. So I've kind of convinced myself that that's what I got to do. And you know, if I only come in with 3 bass, I'll know I fished to win. And that's the way the cards played out for me. You know, if I don't get my 2 bigger bites, then, you know, that's just the way it goes. I mean, yeah, I would love to be, this one could be maybe a good one. I would love to be throwing them in the well and having my 5 bass and then culling, but obviously that doesn't work up here. That's pulling pretty good.
Well, I don't think it should be any secret, Jerry. Most of these fishermen do not prefer the no-cull rule. I mean, I think everyone's natural inclination is to want to catch and keep as many fish as they can, but I think it makes for a great show.
And it's not our rule. It's not you and I.
It's the Game and Fish there in the state of Wisconsin.
It's the Wisconsin law, so they have no choice to abide by the law, as they always do, and not only in this instance, but in links and everything else. They always abide by whatever state law is in effect.
The biggest one I've caught so far today. Sad part is now I can only catch one more.
The Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Coleman, the outdoor recreation company. By Timex, takes a licking and keeps on ticking. By Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks. And by Lowrance, successful adventures made simple.
And Curtis Samo isn't even fishing in the same river as everybody else.
It doesn't look like it. It's pretty, though. Very pretty place.
Obviously he is, but I think we overlook the fact that the fishery up here, the Mississippi River, is incredible. Largemouth, smallmouth, and you know,
we were all very much impressed first time we came up here last year, and there you go. Curtis has got something to be impressed about.
You follow the highway across the Mississippi River there in St. Louis, and you would never imagine that these guys are catching the heck out of fish like they are.
Beautiful fish, and Mike Baldwin now looking for his 5th and final. Could be the one that says he's done for the day. We'll just see what happens.
Oh, this is a good fish. And he's still catching them the same way, still catching them on that little drop-off. And I really do appreciate the fact that he has worked hard, found that little drop. It wasn't an accident that he's sitting on these fish. He located them and figured out exactly how to fish them and catch them, and he's had a doggone good plan.
It's gonna be it for me, boys.
That's it. Nice job.
Thank you.
Great job. Keep right there just a minute, Mike.
2-1, 2-0, 2-1. Uh-oh. That's gonna hurt. See, later in the day, that would have been a great one to keep. But I've just got a good pattern, a couple good patterns going. I feel real confident I can catch several fish today, and they'll be a little better fish. But throwing a 2-pounder back here really hurts. Lordy, I don't ever want to ever fish another no-cull tournament. Because this is bad.
You know, I guess we should have sent out some board games or something. Hey, Mike, you got a deck of cards out there?
I sure should have brought some today. It's going to be a long day for me.
I bet they're glad to hear from us. Have somebody to talk to.
Isn't it nice just to have something to do?
Well, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, unusual tournament situation. Tell us what goes through your mind when you finish fishing so early in the morning.
Well, it's unusual that you have a situation like this. You know, normally you fish all day, and once you catch your 5 fish, you just keep trying to upgrade. And in this situation here with the no-cull rule, you have to kind of make the decisions when you catch the bass if you're going to keep them or not. And I ended up, I caught my first 3 that I kept. They're all decent keepers, you know, considering a 10-pound limit is a decent limit on this lake. And then I got 2 really nice, you know, 2.5 to 3 pounders, and so basically I'm through. I mean, you know, I couldn't throw them back, and I was hoping to hold out and be able to fish all day, but it just didn't turn out that way for me today.
Was it in the back of your mind the possibility that the fish might just turn off at any point?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's kind of a scary situation. You just never know when, you know, the next bite's going to be your last bite on a deal like this, and so, you know, I'm real happy with what I got, and I'll just have to take what comes to me and go from there.
Tell us now why you're not back at the hotel eating breakfast now. Why are you still sitting on that spot?
Well, I got a fellow angler that's about 100 yards right down the street, or right down the channel here, and I'm sure if I pulled off, they'd pull right up there. And there's just too much money at stake to let him sit up there and pull his limit off there. And you know, there very possibly could be some real big ones down there. He's liable to get a 4 or 5 pounder. And
so you're playing defense right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Mike, thanks for spending some time with us. It's not like you don't have some time to spend with us right now, but we appreciate it anyway. We'll see you here at weigh-in time.
Thank you very much.
Just all sorts of interesting stories.
I think that's the most interesting thing we've ever had in a fishing tournament, how that's all coming down. And you know, these guys always talk about not paying attention to the other fishermen. You know, I got to cloud that out and just concentrate on what I'm doing. They've got to be out there wondering what the other guy's doing.
Absolutely. This is the Walmart FLW Tour, and this is a special presentation this week. The world-famous All-American, sort of the world championship for the working man fishermen here. And this is Lamonte Walters, Warner Robins, Georgia. And Lamonte, Jerry, we understand, only got 1 keeper off that little flat we saw him start on there.
Right.
Which really seemed pretty active there at the first, but now he's on the move.
He is really on the move. I think he's working his way to a certain place, but what he's trying to do is hit every little spot in between where he's fished before and had a strike or 2 before. And you know, that's a pretty good strategy, because these fish, especially smallmouth, if they're there, they'll jump right on it. And if they're not there, there's a good chance you might as well just pick up and move on. So that's what he's doing. He's wearing me out.
Yeah, I mean, do you have to put a limit on that, though? I mean, you can't just simply run around all day. You have to have some place that you're gonna settle in, right?
Right, and like I said, I think he is moving to a particular place and just taking little pot shots here and there. And he's also got to be smart a little bit from losing that smallmouth bass.
Oh, my gosh, that was a tough landing there. Lamonte's been bass fishing for 24 years in tournaments here, and he's 3rd time he's qualified, as a matter of fact, for the All-American here, and he's fished all over the place, all sorts of circuits, and he's a man with a lot of experience.
I pulled up here one day at practice, caught about a 2.5 pounder right on the point. So I hope he's back today. That was the first day of practice.
You know, Tommy, Lamonte is an environmental technician. Works there for the city of Warren Robins, and has another job. He helps out in a seafood restaurant that his wife and his mother runs. How about that?
Keeps his hand in it. You know, and his name is Lamonte Walters. And you know, a lot of people tend to call him Monty, but he told us, he said, no, my name is Lamonte. I got a special name, and I want it pronounced that way. So there you go.
And I think he has finally settled into the spot where he's going.
He's a long one, but he don't weigh much. I don't think he'll measure, though. Okay, this fish is about 13 3/4. Wrong size. That's all right. We got plenty of places to go.
Another keeper. Just don't weigh enough. Lord, this is hard. But to get the upside, I feel like if I have a couple hours left and I don't have a complete limit, I can pick it up pretty quick. I may be mistaken, but...
When we heard about the new no-cull regulation, you knew it was going to change this tournament and make the strategy completely different, make it more interesting.
It really, I think so.
I think it's a lot more interesting. Take the story of Chris Baldwin right now. And Chris, your story is incredible. You've kept 1 fish so far, and you've released, what, 7 keepers? Is that right?
Yes, I did. And the last keeper I released, that was a tough decision because it was a little over 2 pounds. It's about 2 pounds, 1 ounce.
Now, we understand that you started out the day thinking that you were going to keep everything 2 pounds and up.
Yeah, but it's kind of a decision-making thing as you go. You know, the fish are still biting. I still feel like I could do a little better than just 2 pound average. And it's definitely, in order for me to win, it's definitely going to take more than 10 pounds for me to win. So I'm here to win.
Yeah, okay.
So you've moved the scale up to maybe 2.5 pounds?
2 1/4, 2 3.
2 1/4.
Yeah, 2 3, 2 4. That'll defindefinitely work.
Are you concerned with the current?
The current definitely plays a role in the fish I'm catching. It's putting them right on the backside of a real flat sandbar that runs straight towards the main channel. So that's definitely playing a role in my fishing.
So not only do you have to find the right contour, but hopefully you run into a spot that has the exact current that you want.
Exactly, the current, exactly. And this area also has a little cover, some small rock out on it that I think really helps. And there's bait fish present, and I've caught a lot of hybrid bass here, so there's a lot of bait, and it's just a real good area.
We have got all this information about the guys from Chris's area being great crankbait fishers.
From Lexington and High Rock area. Yeah.
Capital of the world for crank. And now I'm finding out that many of these guys are also school teachers.
That's right.
Isn't that right, Chris? So
Yeah.
many of these guys are school teachers.
Yeah, they are. I haven't had the opportunity to be a school teacher, but I was their students at one time.
So you studied under David Wright and Gerald Beck, we understand? Is that right? They were both your high school teachers?
No, it was Gerald Beck and Spence Brunson.
Oh, Spence Brunson,
Brunson.
who's also in the top 10 here.
Top
Exactly.
10.
Yeah, it's a small, small world. Well, Chris, good luck to you. We could see how excited you were this morning, and we look forward to seeing you at the weigh-in.
I appreciate it.
Man, I love his courage. Throw away a 2-pounder.
And what if it all turns around on him? What if he doesn't get his limit, the fish
Yeah,
quit biting, and a guy with a small
exactly.
limit wins the tournament?
That's
I bet he
right.
still wouldn't feel bad. He'd still do it
Yeah,
again.
I think so.
We're back at the All-American here on the Mississippi River near LaCrosse, Wisconsin. We're watching Lamonte Walters looking for his 4th fish.
Yep. Oh, yeah. This is a big fish. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a giant. Giant smallie. Come here, buddy. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes, sir.
Right.
That's what we come in here for. Buddy, that's a good one. Oh, that's a 16-incher. All right. Yes, sir. Woo. Too long between bites, but that's what we're looking for. That gives us 4 fish. 10:30. Buddy, we got 5 hours to catch another one like that. And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna take a second to settle down. That made me so nervous. He was getting under there, I tell you. It took 3 casts right along the same thing, just kind of letting that spinnerbait wash under there. I kind of let it wash under there, man, and I thought just for a second that I was hung, but he just burned out with it. And man, I knew when I hit him, he was a great fish. So, like you say, we're looking for one more like that. I'll take my 10 pounds and take my chances with winning this thing.
Oh, pound 13. 6. I love it. I love his no call rule. It's
Doesn't love the no-call.
No, he does
None of
love
these.
it.
No, he
I
doesn't
can't-
love
No,
it.
I can't figure it.
They hate it. All these guys hate it, but I think it's just great. Great for us. Here's Curtis Samo.
That is right. That's funny, wasn't it? It is kind of boggling his mind a little
man's
bit.
working on all of these guys,
Yeah,
including
and
Curtis here. You can tell he's just a little more stressed out than he was when he was in this position last year.
he's kind of behind the 8 ball here now. As you know, he had the big lead going in.
That one should keep.
And he's kind of hurting a little bit here.
Yeah, he's behind.
He ain't much, but I'm going to take him.
However, like I mentioned earlier, he's fishing in a situation where he could catch some nice largemouth, especially slipping back here in these
Oh, he has
weeds,
15-inch
so-
fish.
So he can catch up.
More to come. Don't go away. This is the All-American, this week's stop on the Walmart FLW Tour. It's really the championship, the working fishermen across America, $100,000. The first prize. We're watching Monty Walters looking for his 5th fish.
Another big one.
That could be it right there. It's 11:15 a.m. So if this is his 5th fish and a keeper,
He'll
with the
have-
call rule,
He'll have something to think about, won't he?
absolutely. Not the sort of thing you'd want to sit or think about. Would it be, Jerry?
He's been catching several fish on a spinnerbait. You can see him really fishing that current correctly around those stumps in the structure against the bank.
Come on, fish, come on. Oh, yeah. That's me. That's 5.
You going to keep that one?
Yeah. Believe me. That is definitely a keeper, son. Am I going to keep that one? What kind of joker are you? All right.
Monty Walters is done for the day, so
Yeah,
he's
isn't
got
that
5
something?
hours to think about it. Tim Fleetwood would like to be done probably at this point. He's only got 2 keepers so far, so but you know the good news is he's got plenty of time.
Good fish, I think. Yeah, good fish.
He's fishing a little bit differently than some of our other fishermen. And I think we ought to point that out again. That's really says
That's
something.
the fish can win the tournaments.
Something for the fishery up here. Boy, they're catching fish in all different kinds of patterns. So when that happens, then obviously there are lots of fish and there are lots of very aggressive fish.
Tim, as we
Nice
mentioned,
fish.
is the postmaster for Forsyth, Missouri, a postmaster who gets out of the post office every now and then, actually gets down there to Table Rock and practices for a
Yeah,
while.
Forsyth's right on the banks of Table Rock. So we're talking about a gentleman that gets in a lot of fishing time.
That's a fish, I know.
Back to Chris Baldwin.
Chris Ballman looking for fish that weigh 2 pounds and 4 or 5 ounces, right?
I don't know. The last time we checked in on him, it looked like he had dropped it down to about a pound 15.
His
It's the new
sight
standard.
is changing a little
That's
bit.
right.
isn't it?
Everything's always changing.
I will say this, though. He is still on the same place. He's been fishing that jetty there all day long, I think. At least every time we've checked in on him, back and forth with both jigs and spinnerbaits, looking for a 2.5 pounder.
We didn't even look at the scales on that one.
This is strange, isn't it? It's 11 o'clock or almost 12. We're fishing a tournament, and we're just like giving up, you know. Never do that. I never give up. Man, I fish to the last second anytime I'm in a tournament, and then it's like, you're through. Okay, you know, it's like you're being punished. You can't fish no more. You're through. So, okay.
There you go. Lamonte Walters, another guy who might as well take up whittling.
Yeah, and Tommy, you can't talk anymore.
I'm done. Not about him, anyway. Same deal for Mike Baldwin, still guarding that spot.
Gonna make for a long day, but basically with the no call rule, I don't know how else to do it.
It's 12:16, and we got a good limit, and we got 3 hours to get right up there to the next bend. I hope we make it.
Back to the All-American. The leader is Mike Baldwin. This is Curtis Sama, who started out the day as the favorite, perhaps, but he's behind.
God darn it. Son of a gun. There was a bite right there.
He had about a pound lead, didn't he, Tommy,
Just
going
grab
into
it
the
and pull it
day?
out.
12 ounces coming in, and that's
Man.
obviously not enough. And now things are starting to tighten up a little bit.
You can just almost see his demeanor start to change here. He's losing his confidence, and boy, what an incredible thing that is when you're catching a lot of fish, feeling good about it, and then lose your confidence of catching any more. Boy, you just go right down the tube.
Chris Baldwin here started out catching plenty of fish. He had every reason for confidence, so confident that he was throwing back the 2-pounders. Now I'm not sure he's looking at them a little more carefully.
I think he's looking for 2-pounders right now.
Or maybe a little less.
Oh, yeah.
Well, one more time, let me say that
Pretty sure that's one we need there.
some of these guys knew what position they were in going in the morning. They knew how many fish they had to catch, and so they had it figured. I've got to catch, every one of my fish got to be 2 pounds or better. Every one of them has to be 2.5 pounds, and that's how they started out. But they have backed off a little bit.
And Lamonte Walters, whom we just saw a few minutes ago, he figured 10 pounds was good enough. That's what he'd take his chances with. He pretty much hit 10 pounds on the nose, it looked like to us anyway, and he quit. Done. Boy, Chris keeps this one.
Can you imagine all the fish are being caught out of these spots? This jetty, I bet she's been on this jetty for 4 days now. Back and forth and back and forth.
Struggling.
Well, Chris started out the day being a little bit choosy. We're going to take it now over to Tim Fleetwood from Forsyth, Missouri. We think that's who's fishing here. It's kind of a good view of what he's fishing.
Yeah, and you notice the bank, his particular bank doesn't have the current on it that Baldwin's bank did, and I think the current allows him to go back and forth up and down that dike.
That's the fish I needed.
Tim probably couldn't do that. He probably couldn't just fish on this bank that he's fishing on, for half the day. He'd have to get off it and find him a new spot. But if there's current along there, you can go back and forth because it's bringing in lots of, here it is right here.
Yeah.
Bringing in lots of bait and lots of new fish to these spots.
Chris needs 2 more. Boy, he would like to have a couple of those 2-pounders back right now, I guarantee you.
I hope that folks always pay attention to not just these guys here in All-American, but all of our fishermen, how well they handle their boats. Their right foot is... Oh, yeah.
Right.
There's a good smallmouth.
That's going to be a keeper there.
Their right foot is normally on that trolling motor. They're handling their boat correctly, and that's a big part of it all.
Keep talking about.
There's Baldwin. Now he needs 1 more for a limit, and who's to say he might catch a great one, a 4 or 5 pounder, and that would put him right up in there.
Give me 1 more. So I don't think I put him on the scale. Dang, that's the biggest one I've caught all the way. Ooh, Lord, I should put that 2-pounder in the box. You gotta love it, man. It's fishing.
Well, now it's time for the guys who've been fishing hard and the guys who've only sat and waited for the last few hours to pack it up and head on in. It's weigh-in time. Don't go away. Walmart FLW Tour is brought to you by Evinrude Outboards and Electrics, the world's most refined engines. By Uniroyal, driving dependability home. By Coca-Cola, always Coca-Cola. And by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time.
Well, a great crowd here at the LaCrosse Center, and Chris Baldwin and Lamonte Walters are tied for the lead at this point, but our man Mike Baldwin is coming up.
And could we have another one? Mike Baldwin been super consistent all week long. 11-6 the first day, 9-9 yesterday, and Mike Baldwin coming up here to try to break out this tie here. Needs 8 pounds, 12 ounces. Mike Baldwin. Just see what can be done here.
Keeper largemouth, a keeper smallmouth. Mixed bag here. Another largemouth. His 3 fish. Here's his 4th fish, a nice smallmouth.
Ooh, could that be the one that does it?
And his limit fish, a beautiful largemouth. All right. 5 fish. Check the weight. 11 pounds, 12 ounces.
Our new leader, Mike Baldwin. Mike Baldwin, let's say goodbye to these great guys here. Monty, Chris, great job. Great job, guys. Mike Baldwin, great job out there today, and I know you fished a lot of big tournaments, won a big tournament or two out west there. Realistically, though, what would a win at the All-American, a $100,000 win, do for you here?
Well, very possibly I'd be fishing the FLWs next year.
All right, well, we look forward to that. Another big hand for Mike Baldwin, your leader. Right now, 32 pounds, 11 ounces. Tim Fleetwood is coming up next, and Tim needs 11 pounds, 11 ounces. 11-11 for the postmaster of Forsyth, Missouri, Tim Fleetwood. Tim, step right up here and let's see what you got.
Beautiful largemouth there.
Good largemouth.
Second largemouth.
Another.
For fish number 2. Smallmouth for number 3, Tommy.
All right.
Another nice largemouth for 4. 4 fish
Four
only.
is it?
4 fish, 7 pounds, 6 ounces.
7-6. Well, not quite, just a little short. A big hand for Tim Fleetwood. Tim, what a great job all week. Let's hear it for him. Our leader through the first 2 days, Curtis Samo, has got to weigh in 11 pounds of fish. Bring him up, Curtis Samo. From Creston, Illinois. Curtis, only one other man, has qualified 5 consecutive times for the All-American, and his name's David Fritz, so you know what sort of company we're running with here when we're talking about Curtis Samo. Looking for 11 pounds even.
Fish number 1. Here's number 2. Fish number 3.
And
That's it. 5 pounds, 7 ounces.
All right, let's hear it for your winner, Mike Baldwin. Here he is right here. What a job, what a job. Curtis, stay right there. $100,000 first prize winner. Mike Baldwin from Mojave Valley, Arizona. A great job. Did you ever think before you...
A presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network, go.com.